Hi, this is Mr. Wu, and this is a sample lesson created using the Knowmia Teach iPad app, and the topic is modeling and solving a problem using a two-step equation. Now, pre-algebra and algebra, one of its most important uses is to solve problems, and one of the most powerful tools we use are equations. A two-step equation is pretty common. Many problems will simplify down to a one or two-step equation. Now here's an example of a problem that can be solved using algebra and an equation. So let's go ahead and read it. Jordan needs to raise a total of $200 to participate in a school trip to San Diego. He currently has $40 saved up. If he works at his aunt's store for $8 per hour, how many hours will he need to work to raise the money? So to start, let's go ahead and highlight some key information here and see how it fits into a two-step equation. Well, the first sentence says that Jordan needs to raise a total of $200 to participate in the trip. Second sentence says he currently has $40. So he doesn't have to raise 200, he just has to come up with the difference, right? So we kind of call this the constant or starting amount. He's going to get there by working at his aunt's store at the rate of $8 per hour. Now we call it a rate or a variable amount because, well, the more hours he works, the more money he earns. 1 hour would get $8, 2 hours 16, and so on. And of course the question, how many hours will he need to work to raise the money? So now our task, and probably the most important one, is to take this and translate it into an equation. And that's a skill that needs to be practiced, but we'll get through it step by step. So let's try and go ahead and read the problem and translate at the same time. So Jordan needs to raise a total of $200 for the trip. So let's just write 200 for $200. Now he's going to start at $40. That's a constant amount. So we're going to go ahead and put an equal sign here. So the 200 is going to be made up of the 40 he has now, right? And the rest he's going to get by working at his aunt's store at the rate of $8 per hour. So that'll be $8 times however many hours he works. Now we could use the variable of x, but let's call it h for hours. That makes a little more sense. Now of course that's going to be added to the $40 to make a total of 200. Let's kind of go back and to see if that makes sense. Total of $200. He currently has $40. He's going to work for $8 per hour to get there. That makes sense. Now this may not look normally how you might see a two-step equation, so let's rearrange it a little bit. We can just turn it around, right? As long as things stay on the same side of the equal sign that they started at. So 8h plus 40 equals 200, and there you go. Now believe it or not, you've already done most of the work. We've done the hardest part of the problem, translating the words into algebra. Now, once we have an algebra equation, we always solve those pretty much the same way, right? So that's pretty straightforward. And we've already done the problem-solving part of it. So here's our equation again. So 8h plus 40 equals 200. Now to solve a two-step equation, if you recall, we have to undo both operations, right? There's multiplication and addition, right? And we're going to work backwards to get to where we started from here, right? Remembering that whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So our first step is to get rid of the 40, right? We want to save the variable till last, right? So if I'm adding 40, we're going to subtract $40 from both sides. If I do that to this side, I'm going to have to do that over here too. Right, and of course that eliminates that, makes that 0, which is our goal. And we do the same thing to the other side. 200 minus 40 is 160. Everything else stays the same. They're still equal. Now we just have an 8 times h. Okay, now we have to undo the multiplication, and the inverse of, or opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 8. Here and there. Now these, of course, cancel out and make that a 1h, right? This because we want to find what h is. And the other side, 160 divided by 8. Recall that's not too hard, there is 20. So h then is equal to 20. The number of hours that he'll have to work at his aunt's store is 20 hours. Now that was just solving the equation part. Now of course we have to go back and see, well, how do we actually answer the question? So from the previous step, well, h is equal to 20 hours, because there's units there. So our answer must be then, well, Jordan will need to work 20 hours at his aunt's store to raise needed money. And of course, it's going to go back and make sure, does that really answer the question? And it does. That's reasonable, right? 20 hours times $8 per hour is 160. 160 plus 40 is equal to 200, right? We call that substituting the answer or variable back into the equation to see if it makes sense. And it does solve the problem. So this problem is solved.